Hey everybody, what's up? How's summer going? Life is awesome, life is great. How many? Okay, everyone's done now, right? We're all done? School's out for summer. Summer break is officially hit, correct? All right, is anybody still doing summer school? Sorry, praying for you. All right, so everybody's out. All right, so first weekend of the summer, what'd you do? Nothing. Hey, that's actually pretty good. That's pretty good, okay? Like, for me, I always would, like, when I finish school or graduate or something like that, right, I'd wake up and be like, oh, I need to read something. I need to study something. Like I must have something to do. And then I was like, oh, wait, no, I don't. And then I was like, I'm going to do nothing. That sounds great. All right, what'd you do? I did 2 end-of-year parties. Okay, yep, I've got some graduation parties I'm doing right now, too. What up? Over here, what'd you do? What'd you do? Surprise what? 15th birthday. Okay. 50th. Surprise 50th birthday. Okay. Hey, that's fun. All right. Anybody else? What'd you do? What'd you do? Slept in. Isn't that the best? Is that what you guys are going to do tomorrow? No? No, you're not sleeping in tomorrow? Why not? Are you anti? Who's a morning person? Anybody morning people? I'm a morning person. I love the morning. The morning makes me happy. After about 5 p.m. is like a steady downward spiral for me. Yeah? So you'll see that at camp. I'll wake up and be like, hey, everybody, it's camp, day 2 or whatever. Like, but by the end of, like, day 4, I'm like, I can't wait to get you guys home. Right? All right, so, like, I love you, but my bed matters more and more as I get older. Anybody else? Anybody else? There's nothing like your bed the older you get. Yeah, all right, so it's going to be great. All right, so, hey, a couple fun things today. So we are starting officially our Sunday morning show, the Sunday morning show. Okay, I love how the image is dark. So it is Sunday morning show. I didn't make that image. I don't even know where the image came from, but it's there. It's fun. All right, so the Sunday morning show, if you've ever seen the late night show, which is what that's a spoof off of for Jimmy Fallon, and they do games and stuff like that, we do interviewees. So every week I have probably 1 to 2 guests that just come up here, tell their story, tell a little bit about who they are, depending on if you see students or adults. If you see an adult up here, it probably means the game is going to be a little dialed back, okay, that we're going to do. If you see students up here, the game may be dialed up, okay? So it's going to be tons of fun. We're going to do that a little bit each week. It's going to be tons of fun. And so if you want to be a part of the Sunday morning show, you can do that. You just let me know. I am actively recruiting. I've got our student for next week already, okay? I'm already through next week, but I'm still working towards the 21st. Now the 28th. No, sorry, 21st, yes, but then which one is it? The Father's Day, the 14th, that's it. The 14th is, the 21st is Father's Day, 14th is the day before VBS. Sorry, but that's how it works. All right, so the day before VBS is a family worship day, so that means we're not going to be up here. And then, again, for July 5th, that one's correct, we'll be doing family worship that day. So if you're like, I'm available those days, I'm not. All right, so don't do that. All right, but we're going to have some fun. We're going to do some interviews. We're going to play some games, and then we're going to do a little bit of preaching, teaching, but more interactive. Not like Wednesday night where it's like more just straight on. We're going to be chatting back and forth. Okay. Also, I see a number of you have noticed that it is merch liquidation day. Yay. Okay, so we found stuff literally from like 5 years ago, the burnt orange shirt. I think that's pre-COVID, y'all. Like, it's like saying Jeter said earlier, BC and AD, right? Like, there's COVID and there's pre-COVID and post-COVID. Okay, so while I'm talking about Jeter, hey, Jeter, wave your hand. All right, if you don't know Matt Jeter, okay, he serves on Wednesday nights, but he is also our summer intern for the student ministry, so you're going to see a lot of him this summer. It's going to be lots of fun. You can refer to him as Mr. Matt, Mr. Jeter, or just Jeter, right? Legend extraordinaire. All right, so I wish that was his email, but it didn't work out that way, so it's like something bland, right? But all right, I just wanted it to be Jeter. All right, so anyway, it's going to be great. We're going to have lots of fun. So we've got 2 guests starting today. So are you guys ready to start the show? Let us have some fun. How many of you guys, by the way, watch Dude Perfect? Anybody? Dude Perfect over time? Yeah? All right, if you remember, they have like the giant table with the fake microphones. Yeah, so that's what this is. It's just a piece of plastic. Yeah, fake microphones. All right, so it does nothing. It's just a cool prop. All right, so, but each week we're going to have some guests. It's going to be fun. We're going to play some games. All right, so our first guest, we're just going to rip the Band-Aid off. Are you ready? Julia Stanland, come on down. Let's go. Yay. All right. All right, yeah. So, okay. So if you don't know, I have a rule in my household that when my child makes it to my ministry, right, the very first Wednesday night, I tell an embarrassing story about them. Rip that Band-Aid off, right? Just go ahead, first night. All right, do you remember what story that I told?
It was when I was a toddler and I was trying to find you.
That's right, yep. So it's really more about how I was a bad dad. That's really what it was about. I was like, getting ready. She wakes up, and she had just moved to toddler bed, Julia. You know what I'm saying? We're like, where it's the crib, and you just take one wall off, and now the cage is free, right? And so she wakes up. She runs into, this is when we live in Tallahassee, and she goes to the living room, and she's like, Mommy, Daddy? And I should have been like, good morning, Julia. Instead, I was like, let's see what happens. And I just stayed quiet, okay? And again, Mommy, Daddy, nothing. The third time is when it gets sad. Mommy, Daddy. And I was like, oh no, she's getting sad because she feels like. So I peek around the corner, and she's just like plopped down in the center of the floor. Just, I've been abandoned, right? Like that's all she can think of. And so I say, Julia, Daddy, right? And comes running for me. It was great. All right, so it's a fun story. But it really was more of like just where I did, let's do a social experiment. All right, so it was fun. All right, so yeah, that was my one story. But then after that, I don't tell any embarrassing stories ever really again because, again, we ripped the Band-Aid off. All right, so, but most of you probably know her to some extent because she is my daughter, and obviously I know her, so the interview is not for me, right? But it's more just for us, just to have fun, okay? So, Julia, tell us a little bit about yourself so everyone can know. What school you go to, what grade you're in, things like that.
Go to Liberty Pines, and I'm in 7th.
Is your microphone on? Yeah, it's on. Okay. Okay, go for it. Liberty Pines. Anybody else Liberty Pines in here? Liberty Pines. Bam. Wait, you're not in school. Like, wait a minute. That like
I saw one of them one time.
sending your children and tax dollars to LPA does not count, okay? It's not the same. Anybody else LPA in the room? Okay. All right, what schools do we have in the room? We got Fruit Cove Middle, Fruit Cove, CCA, we got Swiss, I heard Swiss. What'd you say? Swiss. Do we have any Freedom Crossing FCA? Yes, Freedom Crossing Academy. We should have POA? Hallows Cove, that's right, which I just learned, that's the new Rivertown one. And wait, what's your mascot again? The Hurricanes, that's right. Listen, I'm just saying Lakeside Academy. Anybody at Lakeside Academy? Best mascot all time. Yeah, the Sasquatch. There is a giant bronze statue of a Sasquatch out front of the school. I'm just like, that's amazing. Last time I was there, he still had the Christmas cap on. It was not Christmas. It was well past Christmas. But he still had his Christmas cap on. It was awesome. So, yeah. So, all right. So, you go to LPA, which is the mascot?
Wolves.
The Timberwolves, right? Yeah, or something like that. The Wolves or whatever. Okay. All right, so what classes did you have this year in the 7th grade?
Advanced ELA, PE, Advanced U.S. History, concert band, standard science, jazz lab, and Algebra 1 honors.
Okay, so that's 2 bands, correct?
Yep.
Two bands?
Yep.
What were the bands again?
Concert band and jazz lab.
Concert band and jazz lab. Okay, so what instrument do you play? Why don't we just go ahead? What instruments do you play?
Trombone, guitar, piano, and flute.
Okay, all right. So she just threw the flute in there. Literally, she just got it. Okay, she's like, I play the flute.
I've had it for a few weeks now.
Yeah, that's a few weeks. But we're counting it. We're going to count it. Okay, so if you've ever picked up a flute or something like that for a couple of days, hey, you can count it now too. All right, so, so what's your primary instrument in the band?
Trombone.
Okay, so how many girls play trombone in your school?
Like 4.
Total? Is that a lot or little?
Very little because there's 7 trombones in my one band.
Okay, so you're saying trombone is a more masculine?
Very.
But you decided to play it. Why?
Mouthpiece cleans every last one of them till literally it looks like brand new.
But does that matter?
No.
Because, like, how many people used that mouthpiece before you?
He's been going to our school for about 8 years.
Oh,
so-
gosh. So how many people do you think were like, no? But then he
Nope,
washes
no one
it,
was like
right?
that. Yeah, with
Yeah.
special chemicals.
That just still doesn't matter. I wouldn't
does.
be like, yeah, let's do that.
Every last time we have to wait in line so we
Okay.
can clean these things.
Now the other thing is you didn't play just the trombone mouthpiece, you played all
of
the
them.
mouthpiece.
Well, no, not all of them, because I could skip over a few.
Okay,
But
which ones
the
did you skip?
majority, saxophone.
Okay, that's okay. Listen, that was my instrument in high school. Okay, so that's just rude. All
I
right.
couldn't make a noise on the clarinet, so how am I supposed to play saxophone?
Okay, so you played trumpet. All right, you have a trumpet, and what made you decide you wanted to play trumpet, other than you scored a 5
I played
or whatever it
trombone.
means? Or sorry, trombone.
Papa also plays it,
All right, my papa
Yeah.
or my dad. Yep.
and it's also just like something that sounds really fun, and there's also like a small challenge that comes with it. You have to memorize the spot. You don't have buttons,
Yeah. So there's not valves or anything. It's just positions.
and there's only 7, so you have to memorize partials, which is literally like different. I guess you could say embouchures is the same embouchure, but you have to move your embouchure, and you have to speed up air, slow down
All right,
air.
so
It's
that's a
lot
fancy
of
word.
technique.
What is embouchure?
It's the face you make. It's like an expression, but with a piece in your mouth.
Well, not in your mouth. Is what I mean.
Sometimes it's in your mouth.
Sometimes? Oh, like
I
you
was
mean
supposed
like
to
for
play
a woodwind
clarinet
or
and
something.
saxophone.
All right. So what is your favorite song to play?
Probably Moon Dance.
Moon Dance. Okay. Moon Dance is by who?
Van Morrison.
Van Morrison. I'm more familiar with the Michael Bublé version, by the way, if you want to. Anybody Michael Bublé fans? Bublé fans? Yeah. Okay.
Jazz.
So yeah. So you could do that. Okay. And then something else interesting that happened this year. Anything like that? Tell us something about yourself before we go on to our next guest. I mean, all right, just talk about one of your other instruments. How about that? What's one of your other instruments?
I've only picked up guitar for a year and
Okay,
can play
guitar.
multiple songs
Yep,
on it now.
and piano and all
Yeah.
that, so yeah.
Yeah, I've been
So it's good.
playing piano this is the first instrument I picked up.
Yep. All right, so thank you, Julia. She's going to actually stay and join us for the rest of the interview. All right, so that's slow clap. There we go, that's slow clap. All right, so we're going to bring down our next guest. Okay, so give a round of applause to Miss Brynlee Sliger. Yay! All right, Brynlee, come join us. Brynlee, all right. As you can tell, they both raided the Merge hoodies. All right. Yep, perfect. All right, so all right. If you don't know Brynlee, Brynlee's going to introduce herself. Same thing, school, classes, stuff like that. Go for it, Brynlee.
I'm in 7th grade. I go to Swiss Point Middle School.
Swiss Point, okay. What classes did you take this year?
Advanced World History, Advanced Science, Advanced ELA, Algebra Honors, ICT, Gym, and Gifted Elective.
Jim, okay, and I learned that ICT means computers.
Yeah.
Okay, what does it
Very
stand for again?
No idea.
No one knows. Does anyone know what information computer technology? I don't know. I just made that up. Maybe it says, maybe it's not. It sounds legit though, doesn't it? All right, and then you said the gifted class?
Gifted Elective, yeah.
Gifted elective. Like they elected you to be gifted?
No, you take like a test. And
You
then,
take
like,
a test.
It's like
So
with a
you'll
bunch
know I
of
failed that
questions that
test
are
growing up.
critical thinking,
So.
and based on how you score, it depends on if you're a gifted
Okay,
student or
so
not.
what do you do in this gifted elective class?
You do STEM projects and critical thinking activities.
Okay, what does STEM stand for?
Science, technology, engineering, mathematics.
Ooh, okay. Anybody else you do STEM? STEM is your thing? Yeah, okay. All right, adults, did anybody adult, did you have STEM or gifted or gifted? Okay, gifted. You had sticks, that's what you had? Like I had sticks and dirt, y'all. All right, and that's how I entertained myself. Yeah, like I grew up in a little tiny town that had one red light and a very, very small school. Okay, so we did not have options like this. All right, so Brynlee, what are you into? What are your hobbies?
I like to paint. I like to
What kind of paint?
acrylic,
I'm curious. What kind of
like
paint?
watercolors, or acrylic paint,
Water.
or like
Any and all paints.
Yeah.
Paints. Okay.
just paint.
So you're not like picky. You're not like a
No,
watercolor artist.
I
You're just
don't.
whatever. Okay. All right. Paint. What else?
Read and like swim laps in my pool, which is weird, but it's just
Say the
fun.
last one again.
Swim laps in the pool.
In
when I'm
your pool,
bored.
not competitively though.
No.
No. Okay. So this is just for fun.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Now you said you like to read. What are you reading?
It's called
As old as time.
yeah, As Old as Time. It's a fantasy fiction of Beauty and the Beast.
Tale as old as time. I get it. Okay. All right, so what's it about?
It's about like the background story of Belle's parents, and it's trying to explain how the possibility of her mom being like the enchantress
The Enchantress.
like cursed the beast.
Oh, ooh, that's. Wait. The lady who made the dude the beast,
Yeah.
and that's her daughter
Yeah.
who now falls in love with the bee.
Yeah.
Like, that's. Could you imagine that, having that dating conversation? So who are your parents? Oh.
Well, but
We don't need to talk about that, right? And just move on, right? Yeah, just move on. Okay. She doesn't know. Oh, she doesn't know. Yeah, okay.
Supposedly her mother's.
All right, so you
But,
mentioned reading.
yeah.
Julia, you also read, yeah? Yeah? What are you reading right now?
Keeper of the Lost Cities.
Anybody? Keeper of Lost Cities? The what?
No,
All right.
it's not about keys at all.
Actually. It's like barely.
Keeper of the Lost Cities.
About cities
The
that are
title
lost.
literally-
That's what it is.
The titles really don't talk about keepers.
They
much.
really don't.
It's not really relevant. It's just
It's
a
not at
name.
all.
Okay, what else are you reading?
Circle series.
Circle series by Ted Decker, one of my favorite series of all time. The black, red, green, and white, which is the original 4, but there's tons of little spurs and stuff. Fantastic series, recommend it highly. Yeah, keep going.
Different Shakespearean plays.
Shakespearean plays.
Yeah.
But is it like Shakespearean English?
No.
No, so it's like the modern stuff.
Yeah, so I can actually understand.
Okay, which one have you read most recently?
Julius Caesar.
Oh, okay, that's cool. All right, so how many of you people you read more than one book at a time? I'm a more. All right, how many of you are like one book at a time? I'm gonna do it. How many? All right. Real confession, real confessions. How many of you are like, I don't read? You should go to school. Okay, all of you learn to read. It's important. All right, so yeah. All right. All right, Brynlee. Brynlee is actually going to be hosting our first Yo Night next week. Yay! All right, so if you've never been to a Yo Night, essentially we just go to someone's pool and crash it. All right, so how do you feel about that?
I'm happy it's not in my house and it's at the amenity center.
It's at the amenity center, so in the community, not the house, not the home pool. Okay, but why? Why don't you want people in your home?
Because people are messy and I'm gonna have to clean it
Ooh.
all up.
That was shade. She just called y'all messy. All right, so and you would have to clean it?
Yes, because my sisters aren't home and my
Oh,
parents
so it's
are
all
home.
you. It's just all you. And you said, please, not the house, right? Okay.
Yeah.
All right, but we're super grateful for that. All right, now, earlier I asked you who watches Dude Perfect. Anybody? Dude Perfect? Overtime? All right, so we have a game that we're going to do with our hosts and with our guests each time. All right, so we have Wheel Unfortunate. Oh, yeah. Oh, my goodness. This is going to be so much fun. So each person comes up here, spins the wheel. Wherever it lands is what it is. All right, so this one says eat a Snickers bar, which is kind of fortunate until you see the Snickers bar. All right, so some of these we have wear a tiger costume. So for like the rest of the service, you would just sit out, one of these will sit out there and just wear the tiger costume. Drink lime juice. That's just, ooh. All right. I got some others on here. All right. Bonus spin means we didn't like any of the options that you got, so you have to do it again. All right. Walk 10 laps. That's going to be this little area right here. 10 laps. Write a one-page paper. The worst part is these two, they also did this in the last hour, so she had to do that one. And then again, drink lime juice. Again, if you notice, drink lime juice is on here 4 times. Okay, so something else that might happen is, let's say one of them gets write a one-page paper. Okay, well, she got one-page paper, and then Brynlee spun, and it went right back to, or wherever it went, one-page paper, write a one-page paper. Okay, so one-page paper. So you can't get the same thing the other person got. So that just counts as another spin, and so you just keep spinning. It's going to be great. All right, are we excited about this or nah? Super excited. All right, so Julia, you went first last hour. Brynlee gets to go first this hour. Okay, so here we go. Give us a good spin. She did the drink lime juice last time. So this is it. This is the second hour. So whatever's left, whole cup, okay? Whole cup, just whatever's left, okay? All right, so you got the drink lime juice, and Julia, what are you going to get? What are you going to get? You also get to drink lime juice. Well, wait, it's already been done, so you can't do that instant. It's another spin. So go ahead. Go again. Bonus spin. Bonus spin. Go again. Go again. Wear the tiger costume. All right. There it is. Tiger costume. All right. So, Jeter, bring on that tiger costume. Bring on that lime juice. It's going to be great. This is going to be fun. What? I might in future weeks. I'm going to be doing something. Way too much? No, I told you just all of it. That was the point. The whole. The whole. The whole. The whole. The whole. All right, Julius. Yeah, you got to put it on. Yeah, straight up. Put it on. All right, we're going to put this back. All right. Now, we've got some more games coming up this summer that I think are going to be good. One of them, have you guys ever seen the Sprite Challenge? You know the Sprite Challenge? You get the big bottle, not the full 2 liter, but it's like a half liter, right, of Sprite, and you have to drink the whole thing without burping. And if you watch these videos, it's almost impossible because at the end they're like holding their chest, they're like, it hurts. And then it just comes out of nowhere, and it just lasts forever. Okay, so we're talking about doing the Sprite Challenge. Julia. Come on, Julia. Yep, that's right. With your Pumas. That's awesome. And your K-Swiss. All right, are we about done with that? Yep. Okay. I'm hoping for an amazing face. I really am. I hope it's awesome. All right, that is a good 8 to 10 ounces. She's just chugging lime juice. Like, that's so weird. Okay. I know. She just stared at me the whole time. Just like, all right. Tiger costume, yay. All right, thank you guys so much for playing. You can grab your stuff, head back to your seat. This is going to be great. Yay. All right, so we've got some other games coming. Whisper Challenge is coming. What's in the box? Box of Lies is coming. It's going to be great. It's going to be great. Do y'all know what what's in the box is? It's where everyone can see what's in the box except for you. But you have to stick your hand down in there and figure out what is in the box. My favorite version of this, also Dude Perfect, was they put a mouse in the box. Could you imagine just like, and all of a sudden like, whoo, it comes up here. Oh, here's the one-page paper from earlier. Oh, man. So I probably will, but later. All right, so in each week we're going to do some time together in the Bible, right? Because it is church and we do Bible things. I'm going to teach from up here because it feels weird to teach from down here. I can't do it, but I don't know why. It's just this table's that low, this table's this high. I really don't know why it matters, but for whatever reason it does. All right, so we have a series that we started on 8th grade night. I kind of did a preview of it, A Better Way to Spend Your Summer, but the series overall is A Better Way. Okay, and it's following Jesus. Oh, hang on, where's the slide? Hey, guys, in the back. Can we go to the slide? Oh, thank you. All right, so, so the A Better Way series is following Jesus in the unending scroll. Okay, so some things that have been happening in our culture lately that I kind of want to speak to for your sake. Okay, so there's a very influential book, if you guys are into reading. It's a lot of statistics, a lot of research. It's not a lot of narrative, okay? But it's called The Anxious Generation by Jonathan Haidt. It's pronounced Haidt, but it's spelled H-A-I-D-T. So it looks like hated, whatever, but it's pronounced Haidt. Okay, so Jonathan Haidt, another book by Tom Rainer, The Anxious Generation Goes to Church. Lots of others, Screens and Teens by Kathy Cook. So we're looking at some of these things and trends that are happening in your generation. Now, if you look at this image, which, by the way, Jeter made the images for us again. All right, what do you see in that image? Chairs. Lots of chairs. Have you ever like cleaned your room or something and you just kind of felt, maybe you were packing, right? Maybe you were packing for something, packing in a car, and it just kind of felt like that, like if I just touch one thing the wrong way, everything's just going to come falling out, right? Maybe sometimes your life feels like that. Maybe sometimes it feels a little chaotic, a little confusing, and what you kind of see is, I kind of want to just send this idea of anxiety. Man, like I'm just barely holding it all together. But how do we get there? And to some extent, I'm sure that across the generations, there have been people who felt this way, but man, not like this generation. Like when I was your age, I was more just interested, like, how quickly can I get my homework done? Because I want to go to Eric's house and go fishing. Okay, like that was the height of my achievements, was finish math so I can go fishing. Okay, but your generation, they start talking, like, you start learning about civics. You can't even vote for like another 5+ years. You start learning about career paths again, like what or college choices, and again, you're in middle school, right? To some extent, like your grades won't even show up in your transcript that goes to college yet, but they're already talking to you about college. And what I've seen is that we begin to get into this really hurried lifestyle. Really, really hurried, okay? And it's marked a lot by comparison, anxiety, performance. Man, we've got a major performance culture around here. Like I said, I'm going around to a lot of high school graduations. Something that I noticed when I got here 10 years ago. The question is not like, hey, are you going to college? It's what? It's where are you going to college? It's this assumption that everyone's going to be in advanced, everyone's going to be in honors, everyone's going to be in IB or AP, or they're going to dual enroll. Everyone's going to push. They're going to be in travel this, travel that, this competitive thing, and we're going to push so hard. And don't get me wrong, like you should pursue everything with excellence. Don't be lazy. But sometimes we begin comparing ourselves. And it doesn't take me long. I can start listening to you, and I can realize who's most popular, who's fastest, who's strongest, who's smartest, who's funniest. You guys already know who these people are. Sometimes it's in your school, sometimes it's in the youth group. I call it who's who in the zoo, right? Why? Because we spend a lot of time comparing ourselves with others. So each time, so we've got Following Jesus in the Unending Scroll, and we're going to talk a lot more about that coming up. But each week we have a subtitle, okay? So for this week, next slide, please, is A Better Way Than Comparison. And then I'm throwing in some brain rot for you guys each week. How many of you guys love brain rot? You love communicating via brain rot? All right, so this week is Main Character Syndrome. I know nothing about brain rot, okay? So like I have to look it up. I have to have GPT explain what that is, okay? So Main Character Syndrome. Someone explain to the group, what is Main Character Syndrome? What does it mean? Jasmine? Why Jasmine? You're the main character? All right, what is Main Character Syndrome then? What does that mean? You're like, well, I don't know. Like, it's just whatever. Yeah. Don't be a main character, just explain it. All right, so someone back here, you want to explain what is Main Character Syndrome? What does it mean? Not necessarily, but kinda. All right, give me a little bit more, but less harsh. All right, yes. Right, so in a movie or a book, you have the protagonist. We're going to use the fancy word, or something that you should have at least learned in school. All right, and that's the main character, right? The main character. And so everything in the book is all about that main character. All right, well, we begin to live this way. We begin to live like I'm the center of my own universe. Can I just like bust that bubble? No, you're not. No, you're not. We get to we get to think that we are the most important thing and we are the center of the universe and everything revolves around us. Now, there's another thing, and I'm going to talk on this other side. So some of us suffer from main character syndrome. But some of us also suffer from NPC syndrome. Now, what is NPC for our adults who don't know? Anybody want to explain what does NPC stand for? Non-playing character. All right, so if you're in a video game, right, you have such and such, he's always the guy who sells you fish or something like that in the game, all right? And it doesn't matter what's happened in the game, every time you show up to this non-playing character, this NPC, he's going to say the same thing, right? Because he's just a bot. He's been programmed to do that thing. He is inconsequential. All right? They're inconsequential for the most part. Maybe side quest at best, but they're a non-playing character. There's no person behind that character. Some of you live in main character syndrome where you just think the world revolves around you and you're so concerned about you and you think that you are the best thing that has ever graced God's earth. Others of you struggle with NPC syndrome and you think I am the most inconsequential, unimportant person to ever exist. And you think like if I just disappeared, maybe the school, my world would just keep on rolling. And then most of us are somewhere in between. You see, when I make myself the main character, I become trapped in comparison and insecurity. But when I see God as the main character, I truly discover who I am. And that's what we're going to talk about. Our text for today, if you've got Bibles, is going to be Ephesians 2, 1 through 10. So, in Ephesians 2, 1 through 10, there's a primary theological arc. Okay, the primary theological arc is actually that none of us can earn salvation on our own. None of us can earn God's grace or God's favor. You can't be good enough. You can't do enough things or give enough money or pray enough prayers that God is like more pleased with you, right? It's that you are saved by grace, which is a free gift, not earned, right? Not by works, so that no one can boast. That is the primary theological arc, okay, of Ephesians 2, 1 through 10. However, there's a secondary theological arc that I want to lean into. And it has to do a lot more about your identity, who you are, who God made you to be. Okay, so let's read that together. It says, and you were dead in the trespasses and sins. Pause before we move any on. All right. You were what? Dead. Not mistaken, not broken, not needed therapy, not any of those things. Spiritually, we come to God completely bankrupt. There is no spiritual life in us whatsoever. All right, and I love when I teach this text, I always ask students, all right, what do dead people do? All right, good, because one of my favorites, there's always some like generally middle school boy who's like, they die. I'm like, no, they're dead. They've already done that, right? Okay, like dead people don't die. They've already died. All right, so no, they decay. That's what they do. They get worse as they go. And you, me, us. And you were dead in the trespasses and sins in which you once walked, following the course of this world, following the prince and the power of the air, the spirit that is now at work in the sons of disobedience, among whom we all once lived in the passions of our flesh, carrying out the desires of the body and the mind, and were by nature children of wrath, like the rest of mankind. Verse 4, but God. Okay, if you take notes in your Bible, if you underline or whatever, right here, verse 4, these two words, circle them. Because everything hinges right here on verse 4. But God, subject of the sentence. It's not, but we found God or we pursued God. It's not that. It's, but God, being rich in mercy, because of the great love with which he loved us, even when we were dead in our trespasses, made us alive together with Christ. By grace you have been saved, and raised us up with him, and seated us with him in the heavenly places in Christ Jesus, so that in the coming ages he might show the immeasurable riches of his grace. I love that phrase. That he would show the immeasurable riches of his grace in kindness towards us in Christ Jesus. For by grace you've been saved through faith. And that this is not of your own doing. It is the gift of God, not a result of works, so that no one may boast. For we are his workmanship, created in Christ Jesus for good works, which God prepared beforehand that we should walk in them. In main character syndrome, you always walk around thinking that people are always thinking about you. How good you are or how bad you are. Praising you, judging you. You might constantly be checking your likes, your views, your followers, if anyone does that anymore. We think that our success and failure determines our value. How many of you have heard of a social media influencer? All right, can someone explain what is a social media influencer? What does he or she do? Yes. They have a mass following. For what? To do what? Entertain people, kinda. There's a little bit more to it. If you're in the first hour, don't give it away. To what? Kinda. Sometimes they're making themselves feel secure. That's a kind of a thing, but maybe not. Influence people. To do what? Oh, wait, I heard it. To make money. That's all it is. It's for money. Okay, so this is how it would be. Like, I have a dream to be an influencer. By that, I mean I don't want to do social media or anything. I just want the free stuff. Okay, like where you get a sponsor, and the sponsor's like, hey, we're just going to give you a ton of stuff. And then you make videos about it so that you influence other people who then do what? Go and buy the stuff. Okay, so that's the thing. So, like, one of my favorite influencers, I can't remember her name, but she is for Blackstone. So Blackstone gave her a grill, right? And she was this influencer for the longest time until she wasn't. Because if you don't know, in Blackstone, they have these silicone covers that you use to protect, but you don't actually use. And she's like, so look at this new cover I just got from Blackstone. She throws it on her Blackstone, and then she proceeds to start cooking on the silicone cover. And everyone, like, immediate comments like, what are you doing? You're getting carcinogens in your body, like, right now. Like, this is so bad, right? And then after that, Blackstone was like, yeah, we're not going to sponsor you anymore, right? Because at that point, it's like, no one, don't do it that way, all right? And then now she's actually come back, and so now she's actually really funny because nothing ever works right on her Blackstone for her, but she just has fun anyways. So I really like following those videos, right? And I like Blackstone, right? So I've been influenced, okay? So these people, they do this to influence you, again, for money or something like that. Listen, you do the same thing. You do the same thing. Because something in your life changes when you get to this age. It's affinity groups, it's belonging, it's identity. Let me explain. If you don't know how little kids make friends, let me explain how little kids make friends. Some little girl who's on a playground, on the slide maybe, and she sees some other little girl on the slide. And now they're best friends for life. That's it. That's all it took. That's all it took, right? It's proximity. It's how close you are, right? It's, listen, she's not here, so I can tell stories still. Okay, so Meredith will literally make friends with some other little girl on the slide. And I'll be like, oh, Meredith, who's your new friend? I don't know. I'm like, Meredith, does she have a name? I'm sure she does. What is her name? I don't know. Like, literally, it's like, okay, well, what are you playing? And then she'll explain the game. Oh, we're playing this game, and she's this person, I'm this person. We're doing all these things, right? And they're just having fun, right? They don't think about, like, what kind of person this is. Should I play with this person? Oh, you're a little girl, I'm a little girl. We're on the same playground. Best friends forever. BFF for life, right? Okay, so, and that's it. But then when you get to 6th grade, all of a sudden, things start to change because your development, the way you think, begins to change. And all of a sudden, you're not saying, okay, I can be friends with anyone. It's, what kind of friend do I want? What kind of friend do I want to be? Who am I? What am I interested in? And begin to associate around affinity groups, right? The gamer bros, they're always with other gamer bros, talking about games and stuff like that, right? The girls who are into athletics, they tend to hang out. The girls who do cheer or something like that. And you have all of these different ones. Now, there's some people And you're just kind of a jack of all trades, and you can just kind of float from group to group to group to group to group, right? Like I can do this stuff, and I do this stuff, and I'm into that thing, and you can just kind of float around, okay? And that's fine. That's cool too. But then there's others, you begin to change who you are based on these affinity groups. And I've seen it over and over, time and again. You get to school, you start developing this new circle, and they're not quite like you, but they'll at least accept you, right? And they make you feel like you belong. And what do you begin to do? You begin to change who you are to match this group, right? Maybe they come in because they're from not around here, because if you're a redneck and you're from around here, you got to try hard, okay? Because this is not redneck world. All right, but let's say you're like me and you come from the country, okay? And so you show up, and like you show up in all camo, and everyone's like, are you going hunting or something, right? And you're like, no, this is just what I wear, right? And you think it's a fashion faux pas, right? And all of a sudden you begin to change in how you talk, how you dress. All the things begin to change. This is why we tell you over and over and over again, be careful who your friends are, because they will influence you. We do this all the time. We think about what they think about us, main character syndrome. We think about our popularity, our grades, our athletics, our appearance, our social media presence. Christianity teaches you something radically different. See, comparison happens when we make ourselves the main character. Go to point 1. Point 1. Are we awake? Point 1. It's the next slide. There it is. All right. We begin to play the comparison game. Who's prettier? Who's faster? Who's smarter? Who gets invited to more parties? That's a good one. Have you ever had that moment when you found all your friends went to the beach and you did not get the invite? There will always be someone better, someone more popular, someone funnier, someone richer. You see, comparison lives on 2 lies. Are you ready? First one, I'm not enough. But the second one is I'm better than them. Comparison, if you let yourself get too far into comparison, it can actually even turn into bullying. Because for the bully or someone who wants to be the most popular or whatever, that means someone else is not. I'm the funniest kid in class, which means someone else is not. And I will do whatever I can to maintain my status. Right? I might put down and belittle others. Now, when I'm doing that, I'm actually showing that I don't have self-security. I'm insecure. I'm not enough. So I have to constantly keep working hard enough so that I can be enough. That's what comparison does to you. And that's where most of you live. And it's not even a true comparison. I forgot to say this in the first hour, but I'm going to say it to you guys. And I use this illustration all the time. When you see one of your peers take a selfie, they never take one. They take like 30, right? They're like, oh, and I love it because it's hysterical. Like, you just see some girl out there, like, and she's just looking for and she just keeps moving around until it's like, oh, there's a good one. Click, 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 click. And it's just like bump, 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 and just all of these. And before you know it, she has 30 selfies. Then she's going to go through them and be like, oh, not that one, not that one. Oh, that one makes my butt look big, right? And she's like, oh, no, not that one. And then she's finally like, okay, this is it right here. Okay, this is it. And then she's going to filter it. She's going to edit it. And then she's going to post that one that's not really reality. That's the one that's been edited. That's the one that's been changed. That's the one that's been tweaked. Now, here's the thing. If you have any sense of social media, we all do the same thing. No one posts their life falling apart on social media. You post everything happy. So if anyone were to look at a social media image of your family, they would think your family is awesome. But we live inside our own walls. And so we see our own reality, but we're comparing ourselves to everybody else's fantasy. And we say, why am I not like them? They're not either. We're so busy projecting something that's not true, something that's not authentic. So, Second, if we are in the comparison game, second point, God is the main character, okay? God is the main character of the story. God made you. He loves you, shows you mercy, saves you, raises you up from spiritual death. He creates you, okay? The question begins to shift from what have I done to what has God done. Okay, if you go back to Genesis 1 and you look at the pattern, all right, over and over again, you see where it says, and the Lord spoke, and God spoke, right? And he said, let there be light. And there was, evening and morning, first day. And God said, let the expanse or the sky separate from the earth. And there were stars and there were moons and planets, all right? Let the water separate from the land, and there was a sea and there was land. Now let there be animals in the land and in the sea and in the air and all these different places. But then it gets to the sixth day and something major changes. And it says, and the Lord God took some dust and formed the man. And then it even repeats it in the next chapter that so you know a little bit more about what happened on the sixth day. And the Lord God caused the man to fall asleep, took the rib of the man, and formed, same word, the woman. Humanity is the only creation that God touched. It's the only one that he touched. You see, the Bible's not primarily a story about people and people following God and people doing what God wanted. The Bible is primarily about God. That's why I said verse 4, the subject, God. It's about him. Have you ever noticed that in history it spells his story? It's not about us. It's the story of God rescuing a people for himself. You see, if you're so busy trying to build your own platform, your own brand, your own identity apart from God, you'll never understand it. Why? Because identity is not something that you build. Identity is not something that you pursue. Identity is something that's received. It's received by God. So then where does that leave us? Number 3, we are a supporting character. We're the supporting character. It's not about us. Matter of fact, if we try to make it about us, we're going to get things really out of whack. And that's going to lead to terrible consequences for us. See, verse 10, if you go back and look at it, it says, for we are his workmanship, created in Christ Jesus, right? All right. Because Christ, I am loved, I am forgiven, I am adopted, I am chosen, I belong, I have purpose. Why? Because of Christ, I am God's workmanship. None of these identities are earned. None of these are earned, right? Actually, it tells you very clearly in verse 8, for by grace you have been saved through faith, and this is not of your own doing. You didn't earn it. So the good news is, if you didn't earn it, you can't do anything to lose it. That value didn't come from you. Your value does not come from you. It comes from God. And he's the one who does that. I'm going to give you 2 examples. So in my 11th grade year, I did weightlifting all throughout high school. Loved weightlifting. My 11th grade year, I went to state for weightlifting. I had come in second place in districts, first place in regionals, and I'm on my way to state. And I'm like, all right, I'm getting puffed up, all right, because I'm like, I might have a future in this. I can go to college. I can get scholarships, right? And I came in second to last at state. Okay, so if you don't understand how weightlifting works, they don't like add weights and then they take off weights for the next guy and then they add more weights to the next guy and then they take off weights. No, it's just they start at a weight and they start with the lowest lifter and then they slowly add weight because some of us may do the same weight. And so it's me and this guy named Sam, okay? And whoever has the lowest weight gets their name called out first. Guess whose name got called out first? This guy. And I heard my name and I was like, oh no, something must be wrong. Certainly I'm not the bottom. Certainly I'm not like the very first lifter. And now here's the thing. In the districts, I lost to Sam, okay? In regionals, I beat Sam. So we're just like neck and neck. So I knew it was either going to be Sam or it was going to be me. I knew we were going to have the same like essential start lift because we were workout partners. We shared a bench like literally every day of the week. It was me and Sam working together. So when I get my name called out, I'm like, oh dear. So hear me. I got a personal record that day. For both, we only did bench and we did clean and jerk. We did not do snatch because that junk is crazy. All right, and so like we did not do that lift, okay, just those 2 lifts. I had personal records in both of those that day. Best lift of my life. I still came in second to last. The third from last place guy. Okay, so I beat Sam. Sam was in last place. All right, so and then I've got second to last place. Okay, and then the third to last place, he literally adds 90 pounds to my lift. I was almost 100 pounds away from third to last place. I'll be honest, I got super discouraged. I didn't even lift my senior year. I actually really kind of wish that I had lifted my senior year instead. I just got like a job. I didn't do any athletics my senior year because all of a sudden I realized I was a big fish from a very, 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 very little pond. And I got into this comparison game, and I realized I'm never going to be that. So something that I did literally all from 7th grade through 11th grade, I quit. Why? Because I got stuck in comparison. To this day, I will never know, what if I lifted my senior year? I'll never know that because I gave up. I gave up. You see, I put my value in what I could do. I put my value in my performance. And I got discouraged. All right, so that's story 1. Let me give you story 2. Has anyone ever been to the Louvre and seen the Mona Lisa? Anybody? A couple of us, okay? All right. If you go, the Mona Lisa gets its own wall, okay? It's a painting on a wall all to itself. There's literally thousands and thousands of paintings and sculptures and pieces of art in the Louvre. It's massive. Miss Nicole and I went, and we were there when it opened, and we were there when it closed, and I still didn't see everything. I was hurrying to see it all. It's massive, and it's amazing. If you go to Paris and all you do is the Louvre, you spent your time well, okay? It's beautiful. But the Mona Lisa has its own wall, and then in front of the wall, there's like this little queue, right, where you have to like stand in line, snake your way through. And you like, it's like going to the Winnie the Pooh ride at Disney, okay? And at the end, you're like, that was not worth it, right? Like, okay, because you get to the Mona Lisa, and it's this big. That's it. And the wall is a wall in the middle of the room. It's not a supporting wall. It's not like a building wall that has to be there. It's not structural. It is just a wall for the Mona Lisa, and that's it. And it's this big. Y'all, there are paintings that are the size of buildings in the Louvre. They have so many intricacies and details, and you're just looking at them like, this is amazing. And then you look back at the Mona Lisa, and you're like, I'm starting to compare paintings, okay? And I'm like, this is huge. Like, one of them is the coronation of Napoleon, and it is, however you feel about that guy, right? But listen, massive. It fills up the whole wall, and you're like, this is amazing. Why does nobody, and it's just around the corner, and there was no line. There was no line. I'm like, look at all the details. Like, listen, it's feet long, feet high. You can look at little tiny details on people's facial expressions. This is incredible, Mona Lisa. And I'm just like, what makes the Mona Lisa so valuable? Easy. It was painted by Leonardo da Vinci, the most renowned artist possibly of all time. Very few have ascended to his level. Now, there are so many other things by Leonardo da Vinci that I actually consider better than the Mona Lisa. He was traveling through Paris, and he just kind of gave it away as a trinket to Louis XIV. And that's how it ended up in Paris. To Da Vinci, it was just a painting. To everybody else, it became the singularly most important, most well-known painting in the world. Why? Because of the artist. That value, that identity. We don't even know who the lady is. Who knows if her name was really even Mona Lisa? Yet the value was ascribed. Why? Because of who is the artist. Student, hear me. If you're stuck in main character syndrome, you're always going to be looking towards, I want to be the center. I want to be the focus. And you're going to keep leaning into failures and flaws and comparisons, because all you're doing is either main character syndrome or worse, NPC syndrome. But instead of asking, how do I compare to everyone else? Who does God say I am? Ask that question. And I'm going to give you an answer. It's by a guy named Jeff Orge. And he gave a definition of humility that I love. And he says this for humility. Humility is thinking of myself as God thinks of me. Nothing more and nothing less. I'm going to say that again for you guys. Humility is thinking what God thinks of me. Nothing more, nothing less. And he says I'm highly valuable. But he also says I'm not the center of attention. Jesus Christ is. And so I'm okay being the supporting character. I'm okay with God making much of me because it makes me somebody. Let's pray. Father, thank you for your word and for this encouragement. God, I pray for these students who've heard it. May they be encouraged for what you are calling them to do. And God, just as we saw the chairs change in the slides, God, I pray that this series might help them change into how they look at you and how they look at themselves. May it lead to peace and wholeness. If there's anybody in here and they don't know Jesus in this way, or they need prayer, God, I pray they'll find a leader, they'll find an adult before we leave. All these things I pray in Jesus' name. Amen. All right, before you go, I got a couple announcements. All right, announcement number one is we are in the merch purge, okay? We're liquidating merch. So everything over there is free. Take it. If it's not your size, we don't care. Just take it. All right, it's fine. All right, so you can do that. If you are 8th grade guys, 8th grade girls. Where are you going? All right, so 8th grade guys, 8th grade girls. We are going on the fishing trip this Wednesday and the sunset cruise this Wednesday. Okay, so we have to lock in our final spots. We can still do a couple girls or guys. If you want to go, you need to register tonight. Okay, this is your last chance because tomorrow we have to lock in all of our spots. Okay, so if you want to go either fishing or the sunset cruise, you have to do that tonight. Okay, now let's talk about camp. Camp, because we had some cancellations, we have 2 guy spots. We literally had no guy spots. And so I have 2 spots left for guys, and I have 4 spots left for girls. That's it. That's all the spots I've got left, okay? So if you want to sign up for camp, do that now, or you lost your opportunity, okay? There's that. And then, hey, don't forget, if you haven't picked up the calendars, okay? We've got the 2 calendars, because this coming Thursday is summer lunch number 1. To find out where that's at, you're going to need this one. Summer lunch number 1 is at Moe's Fruit Cove, as in that one right there. All right, Moe's Fruit Cove. If you come, I'll get you some queso. You can bring your parents and put them at some other table. It's fine. Okay, like we'll have a spot for them too. All right. And then next Sunday is our first middle school yo night. It's at the Sligers. Yay. Okay. So that is our standard. If you have one-piece swimsuit, or if you don't have a one-piece, like we can work with some tankinis. I learned what those are. And then you can do a dark shirt over a 2-piece. That's fine. And then guys bring drinks, girls bring snacks. Okay, so you can do something exotic like Sundrop or something like that. Whatever you want to do. Okay, so it's whatever you want to do, or just run by Publix on the Sundrop is like a soda, kind of like Mountain Dew. All right, so you can do that. Make sure you get those. Hey guys, have a great week. I'll see you next Thursday at summer lunch or Sunday. Bye, y'all.